Kevin Durant ends up in the Houston Rockets organization. You obviously said that, I think, on June 11th on our show, whenever the conversation started. You said it feels like Houston is very interested in this entire thing. There was a couple other teams. I believe Minnesota was in the convo. San Antonio was in the convo because Kevin Durant wanted to go there. Miami Heat were in the conversation. A lot of Heatles fans were obviously pushing hard for him to go to Miami. Inevitably, he ends up with Houston, which you thought was the most serious candidate, I think, at the beginning. Was it them the entirety? How did this deal kind of come together, Shams?
It really came down to the Heat and the Rockets over the last 24 hours before the trade. So we're really between Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday when the deal was complete, it was really just the Heat and the Rockets really bidding, going back and forth, negotiating. Both really wanted to get Kevin Durant in the fold. But at the end of the day, from Miami's end, they would have had to give up either Khalil Ware or a combination of several different players. Jaime Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic, Haywood Highsmith, the number 20th overall pick, and a potential pick swap. All of those things needed to be in the deal for Miami, unless they were going to give up Khalil Ware, which they weren't going to do. He's their young prized prospect after a great rookie year. They did not want to trade him. Essentially, he was left off the table in any conversation. That was a non-starter for them. So from Phoenix's side, it's, okay, what else could they give? The Heat decided that they were not going to go to that length with all those pieces to get a deal done. Maybe they'll do a couple of them. At different points, Jaime Jaquez was discussed. Nikola Jovic was discussed. The number 20th pick was discussed. The pick swap was discussed. Haywood Highsmith was discussed, but not all of them in entirety. It's really maybe 2 of 4 of those pieces or 3 of 5. So it was never really concrete there. And from Houston's perspective, Jalen Green averaged 20 points a game. Dillon Brooks, known as a tough, gritty 3-and-D type player, to get 2 starters off of a number 2 seed, which the Rockets were last year. I think that's where Phoenix looked at it, and they felt like this is better for them for now and moving forward. And honestly, the jewel of all this was the number 10 overall pick in the draft. And you talk about, why now? Why did this trade happen now? The trade happened now because the NBA draft is 2 days away. The Suns have to get moving on getting draft prospects, getting intel, getting them into their facilities. So that's really the next step for the Suns. So I think the totality of the deal from the Rockets' perspective just outweighed anything that anyone else could offer. And listen, Pat, at the end of the day, Kevin Durant had a lot of voice in this, and he made it clear where he wanted to go. He made it clear where he didn't want to go. And teams heard it. The Suns heard it. And he had leverage because he had 1 year and $54 million left on his deal. And in the NBA, when you're at that caliber of player and you're on an expiring contract, you have some level of sway in a conversation. And if a team wanted to make a swing at him without his assurance or a commitment, they could have, but no one did.
Okay, so is Houston going to give him an extension, or does he play this out? How does that work?
That will be a conversation. I do expect Kevin Durant, his business manager, Rich Kleiman, and the Rockets to have those formal discussions on an extension. I don't know if it'll be this week, but I expect at some point in July, in August, that's a conversation that will happen. And listen, Kevin Durant is eligible for, I think it's a 2-year, $121 million extension. Will it be all of that? Will it be a part of that? It would not surprise me to see how, Kevin Durant is approaching this. This is a partnership. I think there's a goal in mind here to end his career in Houston on both sides, on both fronts. And how can both sides be best suited to do that in a way? Pat, in the NBA now, we're throwing words like second apron, first apron. I mean, what the NBA is dealing with right now, what teams are dealing with is essentially some version of a hard cap. And so how can he make it easy on Houston? How can Houston do right by him? I think that will be a conversation at some point this offseason.
Congrats to KD. He's 37, right? Everybody talking about his age.
Yeah.
Talking about his age. He's 37 years old in basketball, and he's still got $120 million waiting on him.
2 years.
For 2 years if he wants it. Yeah. Way to go, KD. You earned it, buddy.
You did it, KD.
Game's been aging with grace.
Yeah, absolutely. And he goes to a team where he doesn't. He's just.
Per KD trade, he's going to Houston. Dillon Brooks, Jalen Green, the 10th overall pick, and 5 seconds are going back to the Suns. It feels like almost an even trade. KD was actually on the stage at Fanatics Goofball Fest while he got traded, and it felt
Sports
as
ball
though
test.
Sports Ball Fest. It felt as though KD kind of knew that was coming. What did you think about the trade? It feels like KD reuniting with Ime Udoka in Houston's great, and also the Suns getting a first-round pick with 2 starters feels great. Do you feel like it was an even type trade, and are the Houston Rockets now, one of those top 4, top 5 teams to be competing for the title next year?
Hell yeah. The Rockets are a title contender with Kevin Durant. And the Rockets won that trade. I listen, if you're Phoenix, how do you it's nowhere in here that trade happens and you don't at least get a Jabari Smith or a Cam Whitmore. Right? That's the first thing. So the Rockets won because the Rockets really, to be honest, and I say this with all respect to Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, what those 2 guys done for the Rockets last year, helping them make a playoff runs, pushing Golden State to 7 games, being second in the Western Conference, they were a huge part of it. But let me say this. The Rockets didn't give up much. They kept everything that they need to go out there and compete. When you think about their centerpieces, Amen Thompson, Şengün, who I call Baby Jokic, Tari Eason, who is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, him and Amen Thompson. And then you sign Big Steve and Adams, okay? Big Steve, I love Big Steve from New Zealand. Y'all know Big Steve go hog hunting in New Zealand with no shoes on and a big knife.
Really?
You know what I mean?
With dogs? Does he have dogs or no dogs?
Rambo knife?
I see he got one of those dogs, those with what is called some type of shepherd, one of those
like a bay dog, like he holds it at bay, I think.
But it probably could climb trees and stuff like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But here's the thing, right? And then you have a coach that you just signed an extension in Ime Udoka, who I believe is one of the best coaches in the NBA. They're going to figure out a way to get this Fran VanVleet deal situated, whatever they're doing with him. They're going to bring him back. I would say, with all due respect to Oklahoma City, I mean, the Rockets could be the team going into next season as, the front runners for, the favorites for us winning it all, or at least winning the Western Conference. Don't come giving me this about KD is old. I don't want to hear that. Kevin Durant is still giving you 27 points a night on 50% shooting, 40% from the 3, and 90 from the free throw line. I don't give a damn what nobody got to say. He's the greatest scorer to ever play the game. He is the greatest scorer in my eyes to ever play the game.
Okay, I don't want to get into the debate. I've not done enough research and don't feel like I'm the one to battle you. Who do people say? who do people say? Steph?
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Michael Jordan. LeBron has the record.
He does.
And LeBron points king.
Yeah.
Facts.
Put the crown on.
Mm-hmm. Kareem.
Cousy did.
Cousy.
Larry Bird, the way he used to fucking take that thing from downtown.
Yep.
T-Man.
Yeah.
T-Mac, yep.
Kobe.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, it's all in your preference. Some people like to drink Hennessy. Some people like to drink Ciroc. Some people like to drink tequila. At the end of the day, they all get you drunk.
Yeah,
so it's not a debate. It's just your preference.
Yeah, we're all headed to the same destination. What you're saying? All right, I understand.